Have you ever noticed how some men in their 70s and 80s still radiate vitality, maintaining sharp minds and active bodies, while others seem to diminish rapidly, becoming shadows of their former selves? What if I told you that one of the most significant differences might be something rarely discussed in polite conversation: their relationship with self-pleasure? Yes, masturbation, that topic that makes many men of your generation shift uncomfortably in their seats, could be a critical factor in how well you age. Medical research is revealing surprising connections between regular sexual activity, including masturbation, and overall health for men in their golden years. For too many men over 55, sexual pleasure becomes something relegated to the past. A chapter closed, a door shut by either physical changes, societal expectations, or relationship circumstances. Perhaps you've experienced declining desire, difficulty maintaining erections, or you believe that self-pleasure is somehow inappropriate at your age. Maybe you've received subtle messages from society that sexuality has an expiration date, or worse, you've been made to feel shame about maintaining this aspect of your humanity. This withdrawal from sexual expression isn't just about missing pleasure. It represents a fundamental disconnection from a vital life force. The consequences of this disconnection go far beyond the bedroom and extend into every aspect of your well-being. When men abandon sexual expression, including masturbation, they often experience accelerated cognitive decline, weakened immune response, and increased cardiovascular issues. The hormonal benefits of regular sexual activity, including the release of testosterone, oxytocin, and endorphins, are crucial for maintaining muscle mass, bone density, and mental health. Even more concerning, the psychological impact of sexual withdrawal can lead to depression, isolation, and a diminished sense of purpose and identity. Many men don't realize that by surrendering this part of themselves, they're unwittingly accelerating their own aging process. But here's the good news that most healthcare providers won't discuss openly. Reclaiming your relationship with self-pleasure at any age can help reverse many of these negative trends. Regular masturbation isn't just about momentary pleasure. It's a profound form of self-care that stimulates blood flow throughout your body, including to your brain and vital organs. It helps maintain neural pathways associated with pleasure and satisfaction, promotes hormonal balance, and strengthens the muscles involved in urinary and sexual function. Most importantly, it reconnects you with your body in a positive, affirming way during a stage of life when many men feel increasingly alienated from their physical selves. What's most surprising is that the benefits of regular self-pleasure for older men remain one of medicine's most understated secrets, despite mounting scientific evidence. Why isn't this information more widely shared with men in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond? The answer involves a complex mix of cultural taboos, healthcare blind spots, and persistent myths about aging and sexuality. There's a revolutionary approach to male sexual health in later years that challenges everything you might have been led to believe. An approach that treats sexual expression not as an indulgence, but as an essential component of holistic health maintenance, particularly as we age. I invite you to stay with me throughout this video as we explore this vital but neglected aspect of male health and longevity. By the end, I'll share a comprehensive guide specifically designed for men over 55 that outlines how to safely and comfortably incorporate self-pleasure into your wellness routine, regardless of your current health status or whether you have a partner. This isn't just about enhancing pleasure. It's about reclaiming a powerful tool for extending your healthy years and maintaining your vitality. Give yourself the gift of an open mind for the next few minutes. What you learn could transform your experience of aging and add life to your years, not just years to your life. The primary reason many men abandon self-pleasure as they age isn't physical limitation. It's a fundamental misunderstanding about sexual health in later life. Medical science has debunked the persistent myth that sexual desire naturally and completely diminishes with age. What actually happens is more complex. While the expression of sexuality may change, the need for physical pleasure and intimate connection remains hardwired into our biology throughout our entire lives. The real culprit is a toxic combination of misinformation, cultural taboos, and healthcare systems that rarely address male sexuality beyond reproductive years or erectile dysfunction treatments, creating a dangerous knowledge gap that leaves men believing their sexual selves must be surrendered to time. This misunderstanding manifests in several ways. Many older men incorrectly assume that decreased spontaneous arousal or changes in erection quality mean they should abandon sexual activity altogether. Others internalize decades of religious or cultural messages suggesting that self-pleasure is somehow shameful or inappropriate, especially in later years. Some mistakenly believe that conservation of sexual energy will preserve their vitality, when science suggests precisely the opposite. The most tragic misunderstanding is the assumption that sexual health is separate from overall health, when in reality, they're intricately connected systems that influence each other profoundly throughout the lifespan. Think of your sexuality like a sophisticated musical instrument that requires regular playing to remain in tune. Just as an unused piano develops stiff keys, dampened resonance, and deteriorating internal mechanisms, your sexual physiology responds similarly to neglect. The smooth muscles of the penis, the vascular pathways that enable blood flow, the neural connections that process pleasure, and the hormonal systems that regulate desire all require regular activation to maintain their function. When these systems go unused for extended periods, they don't simply pause. They begin a process of atrophy that becomes increasingly difficult to reverse as time passes. Contributing factors to this problem extend beyond misinformation. Physical changes like lower testosterone levels, medication side effects, chronic health conditions, and relationship changes certainly play roles in changing sexual expression with age. Psychological factors including performance anxiety, depression, grief after losing a partner, or adjustment to retirement can further complicate one's relationship with sexuality. Environmental influences like living with family members or in assisted living facilities may create privacy concerns that discourage sexual expression. These factors form a complex web of challenges that can seem overwhelming without proper guidance and support. However, the encouraging reality is that these challenges are largely addressable with the right approach. Your capacity for sexual pleasure doesn't have an expiration date. The male body maintains its ability to experience sexual pleasure well into the 80s, 90s, and beyond, though sometimes in different ways than during youth. The adaptability of the human nervous system means that new pathways for pleasure can be developed, even as others may change. With appropriate techniques, adaptations, and sometimes medical support, men can maintain or reclaim this vital aspect of their humanity throughout their entire lives, with significant benefits to their overall health and longevity. This knowledge represents a paradigm shift for many men who have resigned themselves to a pleasure-free existence in their later years. Rather than accepting diminished pleasure as an inevitable consequence of aging, consider it a modifiable factor, one that you have more control over than you might realize. By understanding the true causes of sexual withdrawal in older men, we can address them systematically and intentionally, reopening a door that many men believed was permanently closed. The journey of reclaiming this aspect of yourself begins with recognition that it remains an important part of your health and identity, regardless of your age. The first step toward reclaiming this vital aspect of your health involves a deliberate shift in mindset, recognizing that self-pleasure isn't just permissible in your later years but beneficial. This mental reframing is powerful medicine in itself. Rather than viewing masturbation as a lesser substitute for partnered sex or something inappropriate for your age, begin seeing it as an essential form of self-care, similar to physical exercise or healthy eating. This shift requires intentionally challenging internalized messages you may have absorbed throughout your life. Start by acknowledging that your body remains worthy of pleasure, and that maintaining sexual function is a legitimate health concern, not a frivolous indulgence or something to be ashamed of. The benefits of this mindset shift extend far beyond the psychological. Regular self-stimulation promotes increased blood flow to the genital region, helping maintain erectile tissue health and urinary function. Studies show that men who ejaculate more frequently throughout their lives have lower rates of prostate cancer, with some research suggesting that ejaculating 21 times or more per month provides optimal protective benefits. The hormonal cascade triggered by arousal and orgasm reduces stress, improves sleep quality, and provides natural pain relief through endorphin release. Cognitively, sexual activity stimulates multiple brain regions, maintaining neural pathways and potentially offering some protection against cognitive decline. These physiological benefits work synergistically, contributing to a positive cycle of improved overall health. Implementing this solution can begin simply and gradually. Start by creating a private, comfortable space where you can explore without anxiety about interruption. Schedule time for this exploration when you have energy and aren't rushed, treating it as an important appointment with yourself. Begin with gentle touch that focuses on sensation rather than immediate arousal or orgasm. Rediscover your body with curiosity rather than judgment, noting how sensations may have changed over time. Use plenty of lubricant, as natural lubrication often diminishes with age. Consider upgrading to a higher quality lubricant specifically designed for sensitive skin, as this simple change can dramatically improve comfort and pleasure for older men. Medical research increasingly supports this approach. A longitudinal study from the University of Finland followed men aged 55-75 for 5 years and found that those who maintained regular sexual activity, including masturbation, showed significantly lower rates of cardiovascular issues and better cognitive test scores than their non-sexually active counterparts. Research from the University of California suggests that regular sexual activity stimulates the production of neurohormones that protect brain tissue and improve neuroplasticity. A 2019 review in the Journal of Sexual Medicine concluded that regular sexual expression throughout later life correlates with reduced all-cause mortality, improved immune function, and better management of age-related health conditions, independently of other factors like general physical activity or social engagement. Imagine waking up with a renewed sense of vitality, feeling more connected to your body rather than at odds with it. Picture the satisfaction of maintaining this fundamental aspect of your humanity rather than surrendering it to time. Consider how this reclamation might improve your mood, your confidence, and your overall sense of well-being. For many men who implement this approach, the benefits extend far beyond the physical. They report feeling more themselves, more engaged with life, and more optimistic about their future. This renewed relationship with pleasure often catalyzes positive changes in other areas, inspiring improved self-care in nutrition, exercise, and social connection. This approach doesn't demand perfection or pressure. The goal isn't to recreate the sexual experiences of youth, but to develop a new, appropriate relationship with pleasure that honors your current body and circumstances. Many men find that removing performance expectations and focusing instead on mindful enjoyment transforms what had become a source of frustration into a reliable pleasure. Remember that progress may be gradual, and setbacks are normal parts of any health journey. The consistent message from men who have successfully implemented these changes is that patience and persistence yield remarkable results, often restoring a vital dimension of life they had prematurely surrendered. Building on the foundation of mindset and basic practices, the second essential component of reclaiming sexual wellness in later years involves adapting techniques to accommodate the natural changes in your body. This isn't about fighting against aging, but working harmoniously with your changing physiology. The mature male body responds differently than its younger counterpart, requiring more direct stimulation, longer arousal periods, and different types of touch. Rather than interpreting these changes as dysfunction, recognize them as natural shifts that simply require adjustment. Developing a repertoire of techniques specifically designed for the older male body can transform frustration into satisfaction and reopen doors to pleasure you may have thought were permanently closed. The benefits of this adaptive approach are profound and far-reaching. By working with your body rather than against it, you reduce performance anxiety and increase success, creating a positive feedback loop of confidence and enjoyment. This tailored approach helps maintain penile tissue health through appropriate stimulation that respects tissue sensitivity while promoting blood flow. The combination of mental relaxation and physical techniques preserves the neural pathways associated with arousal and pleasure, which follow the use it or lose it principle of neuroplasticity. Perhaps most importantly, this approach fosters a compassionate relationship with your changing body during a phase of life when many men experience alienation from their physical selves. Practical implementation begins with experimentation and discovery. Consider using enhanced lubrication methods, with silicone-based products often providing superior comfort for older men. Explore warming lubricants that can increase sensitivity if decreased sensation is an issue. Experiment with different types of stimulation, including vibrating devices specifically designed for men, which can be particularly helpful if hand arthritis limits manual dexterity or if more intense stimulation is needed. Position changes can improve comfort and blood flow. Try reclining positions that reduce strain on the back and hips while maximizing circulation to the genital area. Incorporate breathing techniques that enhance relaxation and intensify sensation, such as slow, deep breaths during arousal and shorter breaths as pleasure intensifies. Research from sexual health clinics specializing in older adults supports the effectiveness of these adaptive approaches. A clinical study from the Masters and Johnson Institute found that men who learned age-appropriate self-stimulation techniques reported 78% higher satisfaction with their sexual lives and measured improvements in erectile function even without medication. Research published in the International Journal of Impotence Research demonstrated that regular adapted self-stimulation can increase penile sensitivity in men who had previously reported diminished sensation. Additionally, a 2020 study from the University of Sydney showed that older men who used vibrating devices as part of regular self-pleasure routines experienced improved spontaneous erections and reported higher quality of life scores compared to non-users. This integrated approach acknowledges the whole person rather than focusing narrowly on specific functions or dysfunctions. While erectile medication certainly has its place in men's health treatment, many men discover that these adaptive techniques reduce or eliminate their dependence on pharmaceuticals by addressing the underlying issues of blood flow, muscle tone, and neural pathway maintenance. Others find that these techniques complement medical treatments, enhancing their effectiveness. The combination of mindset changes, basic practices, and these adaptive techniques forms a comprehensive strategy that works synergistically to maintain or restore sexual wellness in ways that isolated medical interventions cannot achieve alone. By embracing both the physical and psychological aspects of sexual health, you create a sustainable practice that can evolve with you through the coming years. Men who implement this comprehensive approach often report that their relationship with their sexuality becomes more satisfying than in earlier years despite physical changes. Many describe a deeper connection with sensation, greater appreciation for pleasure, and freedom from the performance pressures that sometimes dominated their younger experiences. This matured sexuality, characterized by presence, patience, and adaptation, represents not a diminished version of youthful experience, but a different and often richer dimension of human pleasure that remains accessible throughout life. Among the most common pitfalls older men encounter when reclaiming their sexual wellness is the all-or-nothing approach to success. Many men expect every self-pleasure session to result in firm erections and powerful orgasms comparable to their younger years, then abandon the practice entirely after disappointing experiences. This perfectionist mindset creates performance pressure that triggers stress hormones, which actually inhibit arousal and pleasure. The body interprets this pressure as a threat, constricting blood vessels and tensing muscles, precisely the opposite of what facilitates sexual response. Instead, adopt a process-oriented approach that values sensation, relaxation, and exploration over specific outcomes. Success should be measured by engagement in the practice itself, with any pleasurable sensations considered welcome bonuses rather than required outcomes. Another critical mistake is inconsistent practice, where men attempt self-pleasure only occasionally or when particularly motivated. This sporadic approach fails to maintain the physiological systems that support sexual function. When sexual expression occurs too infrequently, penile tissues receive inadequate blood flow, nerve sensitivity diminishes, and relevant muscle groups weaken. Additionally, the hormonal benefits that come from regular sexual expression, including testosterone maintenance and stress hormone reduction, require consistency to create meaningful health impacts. Establish a regular schedule for self-pleasure, typically 2 to 3 times weekly for optimal physiological benefits. Think of this as maintenance rather than recreation, similar to how regular exercise preserves muscle function even when motivation varies. This consistent approach maintains physical capacity that makes spontaneous engagement more accessible when desire arises. The third major mistake involves excessive focus on genital response while ignoring the rest of the body's pleasure potential. Many men fixate exclusively on achieving erections, approaching self-pleasure with a narrow genital focus that bypasses the full spectrum of sensual experience. This limited approach not only creates performance pressure, but misses opportunities for discovering new pathways to pleasure that become increasingly important as traditional patterns change with age. Instead, expand your awareness to include your entire body as an erogenous landscape. Explore touch on the inner thighs, lower abdomen, perineum, nipples, and other sensitive areas that can generate pleasure and eventually enhance genital response. This whole-body approach activates more neural pathways, increases overall arousal, and often indirectly improves genital response while providing satisfying sensations even when full erection or orgasm might not occur. Rushing the process represents a fourth common error that undermines success. Many men approach self-pleasure with the same time efficiency mindset they apply to other tasks, attempting to reach arousal and completion quickly. This hurried approach rarely works well with older bodies, which typically require more time to respond to stimulation. When arousal doesn't happen quickly, frustration follows, creating a negative cycle. The mature male sexual response benefits tremendously from extended arousal periods that allow blood flow to build gradually and consistently. Allocate at least 30-45 minutes for self-pleasure sessions, viewing this time as an investment in both immediate pleasure and long-term function. Use the first portion for relaxation and non-genital touch, gradually transitioning to more direct stimulation as arousal builds. This patient approach yields significantly better results and often produces stronger, more satisfying experiences than rushed attempts. Perhaps the most damaging mistake is practicing self-pleasure with feelings of shame or embarrassment, which creates a counterproductive association between sexuality and negative emotions. This psychological conflict manifests physically through tension, restricted breathing, and limited arousal. The body cannot fully relax into pleasure while simultaneously feeling shame about that very experience. To address this, consciously practice self-permission and positive affirmation around your sexuality. Remind yourself that this practice represents proper care for your complete health supported by medical evidence. Consider writing down and regularly reviewing the health benefits of sexual expression to reinforce its legitimacy. Many men find it helpful to formally schedule self-care time in their calendar, acknowledging its importance alongside other health practices like exercise or medical appointments. By avoiding these common mistakes, you remove the primary obstacles that prevent successful reclamation of sexual wellness in later years. Remember that nearly all challenges in this area have practical solutions when approached with the right information and attitude. The most successful men in maintaining lifelong sexual wellness aren't necessarily those with the fewest health challenges, but those who approach changes with flexibility, patience, and determination. Each positive experience builds momentum toward the next, creating an upward spiral of improvement, rather than the downward spiral that occurs when these mistakes are left unaddressed. With conscious effort to avoid these pitfalls, you establish the conditions where natural pleasure can flourish again, regardless of your starting point. Let me share with you the complete restoration method, a systematic approach specifically designed for men over 55 to reestablish and maintain sexual wellness through mindful self-pleasure. This isn't a quick fix, but a comprehensive wellness practice that addresses both the physical and psychological aspects of male sexuality in later years. Developed through consultation with urologists, sexual health therapists, and feedback from hundreds of men who have successfully navigated these changes, this method integrates traditional knowledge with modern medical understanding of male sexual physiology. Unlike generic advice that doesn't account for age-related changes, each component of this approach targets the specific challenges encountered by men in their sixth decade and beyond. The origins of this method trace back to pioneering work in sexual health rehabilitation following prostate surgery, where researchers discovered that regular, appropriate sexual stimulation significantly improved recovery rates and maintained function. These principles were later expanded through research at sexual wellness clinics specializing in aging populations where therapeutic approaches to maintaining sexual function without medication showed remarkable success. What makes this method particularly valuable is that it was refined through real-world application, with men facing various health conditions, including heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, and medication side effects, proving its adaptability to diverse circumstances. The core insight driving this approach is that sexual function follows the principle of neuroplasticity. The brain and body maintain and strengthen pathways that are regularly activated. The restoration method unfolds in 5 sequential steps, ideally practiced 2 to 3 times weekly. First, the preparation phase, 5 to 10 minutes, involves creating a comfortable, private environment with appropriate temperature, supportive positioning with pillows if needed, and elimination of distractions. Apply a quarter-sized amount of high-quality lubricant to your hands to warm it before beginning. Second, the relaxation phase, at 5-10 minutes, focuses on deep breathing and progressive muscle relaxation, starting with 10 slow breaths while consciously releasing tension throughout your body. Third, the awakening phase, 10-15 minutes, involves exploring non-genital pleasure through gentle touch to the inner thighs, lower abdomen, chest, and other sensitive areas, gradually building awareness of sensation without goal-oriented thinking. The fourth phase, focused stimulation, 10-15 minutes, introduces direct touch using 3 specific techniques. The encompassing palm method, where the lubricated palm encircles the penis with gentle pressure and slow, full-length movements. The gland circulation technique, using 2 fingers to make small circular motions around the head of the penis with slightly firmer pressure. And the root strengthening approach, applying moderate pressure and massage to the base of the penis and perineum area to stimulate blood flow and strengthen pelvic floor connections. Regardless of the state of erection, maintain these movements with attention to any pleasurable sensations rather than focusing on rigid expectations of response. Finally, the integration phase, 5 minutes, involves mindful awareness of sensations throughout your body, conscious appreciation for the experience regardless of specific outcomes, and a few moments to acknowledge the health benefits of the practice you've completed. For optimal results, attention to timing and frequency is essential. The ideal practice schedule for most men over 55 is 3 sessions per week, preferably spaced evenly throughout the week to maintain consistent circulation and hormonal benefits. The best timing for these sessions is typically mid-morning, between 9-11 a.m., when testosterone levels are naturally higher for most men, or early evening, 5 to 7 p.m., if morning isn't convenient. Avoid sessions when extremely tired, immediately after large meals, or when time-pressured. If you're taking ED medications, schedule sessions to align with peak effectiveness times. For men with cardiovascular concerns, avoid practicing shortly after physical exertion when the heart is already working harder. Those with arthritis may benefit from scheduling sessions after warm showers or light movement when joints are most flexible. I recommend implementing this method progressively over 3 weeks for sustainable integration. Week 1, practice only the first 3 phases, preparation, relaxation, and awakening, without genital touch, focusing on rebuilding body awareness and positive associations. Week 2, add the focused stimulation phase with gentle pressure and without outcome expectations, maintaining a curious, exploratory attitude. Week 3, implement the complete 5-phase practice, gradually extending time in the areas you find most beneficial. Track your experiences in a private wellness journal, noting changes in sensation, response, mood, and overall well-being. Many men report noticeable improvements in sensitivity and response within 4 to 6 weeks of consistent practice, with additional benefits to sleep quality, mood, and energy levels often appearing even sooner. Let's take a moment to review what we've covered in our journey toward reclaiming sexual wellness in later life. We've discovered that maintaining sexual expression through appropriate self-pleasure isn't just about momentary enjoyment, but represents a critical component of complete health for men over 55. We've explored how the mind-body connection influences sexual wellness, identified and addressed common misconceptions that lead men to prematurely abandon this aspect of their lives, and developed practical strategies for working with your changing body rather than against it. We've examined the common mistakes that derail progress and outlined a comprehensive step-by-step method designed specifically for the mature male body. This knowledge forms a complete framework for maintaining or restoring this vital aspect of your health and identity. The benefits you can expect from implementing these practices extend far beyond the bedroom. In the short term, many men report improved mood, reduced stress levels, and better sleep quality within the first few weeks of regular practice. The hormonal benefits of sexual expression, including endorphin and oxytocin release, create noticeable improvements in outlook and emotional stability. In the medium term, typically within 2 to 3 months of consistent practice, most men experience improved circulation to the genital area, enhanced sensitivity, more reliable arousal, and stronger pelvic floor muscles that support both sexual and urinary function. Many report reduced dependence on erectile medications or enhanced effectiveness when medications are used. The long-term benefits, documented in men who maintain these practices for a year or more, include significantly lower rates of prostate issues, improved cognitive function, better cardiovascular health markers, and maintenance of muscle mass and bone density through hormonal optimization. Imagine waking up 6 months from now with a renewed sense of vitality, feeling reconnected to a part of yourself you feared was lost forever. Picture the confidence that comes from knowing you've taken control of this aspect of your health rather than surrendering to decline. Consider how this reclamation might positively influence your intimate relationships, whether with a current partner or potential future connections. Envision the pride in maintaining your complete health through knowledge and self-care rather than resignation. Many men who successfully implement these practices describe a profound shift in their overall relationship with aging, moving from a mindset of inevitable decline to one of adaptation and continued growth. This renewed relationship with your body often catalyzes positive changes in other areas, inspiring improved nutrition, increased physical activity, and greater social engagement. Remember that this transformation represents a journey rather than a destination. Like any meaningful health practice, it requires patience, consistency, and a willingness to adapt as your body continues to change. You're not alone in this process. Millions of men are navigating the same changes, though few discuss them openly. The silence surrounding male sexuality in later years creates the illusion of uniqueness in your experience, when in reality, these changes and challenges are universal aspects of the male aging process. Consider joining online communities or discussion groups where men share their experiences and strategies for maintaining sexual wellness throughout life. Many men find that breaking the isolation around this topic provides additional motivation and practical insights that enhance their personal practice. I encourage you to commit to this aspect of your health with the same seriousness you would give to managing your blood pressure, maintaining heart health, or preventing diabetes. Sexual wellness deserves equal priority in your health maintenance plan, not despite your age, but because of it. The preventative benefits of regular sexual expression become more significant, not less, as you move through your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Make a specific commitment to implement the restoration method for at least 90 days, which provides sufficient time to experience meaningful benefits. Consider scheduling these sessions in your calendar as non-negotiable appointments with yourself, giving them the same priority you would give to any important health intervention. The qualities that will serve you best in this journey are patience, consistency, curiosity, and compassion toward yourself. Progress may not always follow a linear path. There will be better and worse days, as with any health practice. The men who achieve the greatest success are those who approach setbacks with curiosity rather than judgment, viewing challenges as information rather than failure. Each experience, whether immediately satisfying or not, provides valuable feedback that helps you refine your approach. With consistent practice and the knowledge you now possess, you have everything needed to maintain or restore this fundamental aspect of your humanity throughout your entire life, enhancing not just your longevity, but your experience of being alive in each moment along the way. Throughout this video, we've navigated a topic rarely discussed yet vitally important for men in their later years: how maintaining sexual wellness through appropriate self-pleasure directly impacts your overall health, longevity, and quality of life. We've dismantled harmful myths about sexuality and aging, explored the science behind the connection between sexual expression and health outcomes, identified common mistakes that undermine progress, and provided a comprehensive, step-by-step method designed specifically for men over 55. Most importantly, we've reframed self-pleasure from something often surrounded by shame or dismissal into what it truly is, an essential form of self-care with profound implications for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being as you age. The information you now possess has the potential to significantly enhance your health trajectory, but only if you put it into practice. Knowledge without action creates no change. I encourage you to begin implementing the restoration method today, not next week or when circumstances seem perfect. The biological processes that maintain sexual function operate on a use it or lose it principle, making prompt action important for preserving function. Remember that every day of inaction potentially makes the restoration process more challenging. The men who achieve the most remarkable improvements are invariably those who begin immediately and maintain consistency, despite initial uncertainties. Your future self will thank you for the commitment you make today to this aspect of your complete health maintenance. If you found value in this information, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your simple click helps this essential information reach other men who could benefit but might never otherwise encounter such candid, practical guidance on this topic. The algorithms that determine video visibility respond directly to these engagement signals, allowing us to break through the silence surrounding men's sexual health in later years. Consider sharing this video with friends who might benefit. Sometimes the greatest gift we can offer is permission to discuss topics that have remained unnecessarily taboo for too long. Thank you for having the wisdom and openness to engage with this vital information. I hope you feel equipped and empowered to reclaim this important dimension of your health and humanity.